Okay, good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Taanit, Daf Yud Ches, number 18. 18 is Gematria Chai, Yud Ches is Chai. Start living. They said in Shawshank Redemption, which is a novel by Stephen King, I think. Stephen King wrote the novel Shawshank Redemption. It was called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. They adapted it into a movie, The Shawshank Redemption. My favorite movie, personally. And one of the famous lines in the movie was, either get busy living or get busy dying. So every person has to make a choice in life. Do you want to live or you want to die? Or avoid dying? Avoiding dying is just slowly dying. That's the way life is. Either you live life to its fullest and try to live every day and try to enjoy as much as you can every day, or you just try to pay your bills, get out of debt, avoid dying. Eventually you'll die. And you're dying anyway while you're avoiding to die. So that's my message for today for Yud Ches on Hanukkah, Day of the Light. A lot of darkness in this world. We have to light it up, light up the nights, and start living. Alright, so we're going to start from the top of Yud Ches and Aleph. Second line, come on, Rabbi Yossi. The Gemara said yesterday that the reason in Megillas Taanit it answered to the Moed is because it wanted to answer the end of the Moed, the end of Pesach, is because even though Pesach is the Yom Tov itself, is because it wanted to answer the day afterwards. The Gemara says that's like Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi argues on Rabbi in the Mishnah. He says that the days that it says Lo Lemisbad Behun in Megillas Taanit is not only before the day is also, but also after the day. If we're establishing that this Mishnah, the Megillas Taanit is according to Rabbi Yossi, the 29th day of Adar, why do you have to say, the reason it says Rosh Chodesh Nisan is to tell me the day, the 29th day of Adar is also us, or typically the Havla Yom and the Basra Esrim Manaya. We can learn, if we hold like Rabbi Yossi, the day after is also Asr, so we don't need Rosh Chodesh, we can learn it from the day before. The 28th day of Adar will also happen to be a Yom Tov. The Zanya Esrim Manaya Bay, Asas Pasurta Taftal Yudai, Lo Yidum in Araisa. The 28th day, they got the verdict from the Roman authorities that they would not be stopped from learning Torah, keeping the Torah. Shapam Achas, there was one time, Nigzura Gzeira al Yisrael, Shlei Asko, Torah, the Romans decree they shouldn't learn Torah, Shlei Amulas B'neim, they shouldn't circumcise their children, Shichalu Shabbosos, and they should Mechal Shabbos, Masa Yehuda ben Shamua v'Chaver. What did Yehuda ben Shamua and his friends do? Halchu v'nato Eitza Matronisa Achas, Shakol Gdolei Rum Mutsuinet. So they took advice from a matron. I don't know if she's a prostitute or not, or she just happened to be an important woman that people consulted to for advice, like Markel from Germany, Angela Merkel. Amra lahem amdu v'hifkinu b'layla. They said, she advised them, go out and protest to a hafgana at night. Halchu v'hifkinu b'layla. They went out, I guess, to where the Roman government was. Amru ishamayim. They said to Shamayim, they said to the heavens, Lo achim anachnu, aren't we brothers? Lo b'nei av echad anachnu, aren't we the same father? Lo b'nei em achas anachnu, aren't we the same mother? Esav, Rome comes from Esav, and Esav and Yaakov are brothers. Ma nishtaninu mikol umma v'lashon Hashem goes around and exeras ro. So why are we different than all the nations that you make exer against them, against us, and other nations you don't? Ubitlum, and they're mavatel the xeros based on that protest. Also yom asu yom tov. That day, the 28th of Adar, they made it into a small yom tov. The reason they had to say Rosh Chodesh Nisan to answer the 30th day of Adar, and because we're talking about a chodesh where it's Chodesh Me'ubar, where Adar is 30 days, not 29. So therefore, 29 would only be because of a count of 28. 30th day would be mutter b'hesped Taanit. That's why I say Rosh Chodesh to tell you the 30th day of Adar. Rav Ashi Amar, afilu tema al chodesh chasar. Even if you want to say the Megillas Taanit is only concerned with the chodesh chasar, because that's what it usually was. Adar, kol shalacharav b'tainis asar behesben mutter. Whenever we say that acharav, according to Rabbi Yossi, he says the day after it is asar. That's only asar to fast that day. Hesped, even though normally the day before would be asar, but hesped also, the day after is mutter to eulogize. So the hesped nami asar, and that's why it had to say Rosh Chodesh Nisan to tell you the 29th day of Adar. If it was from the 28th, we would assume the hesped is mutter. Therefore, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, like the day before, so hesped is even asar. Amar Mar Masisa Mitmanaya Bevat Sof Moada Isos Chagad Shuaye, from the 8th day of Nisan until the end of Pesach was established the proper day for Shavuos. The Lamisbad, in order they shouldn't eulogize during the days. Lamli Lameimar Mitmanaya Bay. Lamar Mitisha Bay, why does it the 8th day? Say from the 9th day. Mitmanaya Gufay Asar, the Havali Yomadi Tukim Beit Mida. The 8th day we know is Asar. Lemar Matisha Bay, but my Gufay Asr to Havali Yomadi talking Beit Mida. Kavan, okay, so the Gemara says, why does it say that starting from the 8th day to the Pesach? You should learn it out from the fact that it already was included in the first Yom Tov, which went from Rosh Chodesh Nisan to the 8th day of Nisan, so you don't have to include 8th day of Nisan twice. So the Maran says, "Kevin the ikla mikla milso batlini l'shiva tpanaya gufe asr dehali yom kama disazi beichaga d'shuayit." We're concerned. The reason they wrote it twice is because maybe one day they're going to vatal it. It's going to end up it's not such a simple a joyous Yom Tov anymore. They're going to consider it not a Yom Tov anymore, or there's going to be problems with the Korban Tamid in the future. They're going to vatal that Yom Tov from the 1st of Nisan to the 8th of Nisan. That's why they included the 8th of Nisan, because that'll still be Asr based on the fact that it was one of the days where they established the right day for Shavuos. The Gemara says, once we say that, Esher Matisha Nami, we also have an answer to the 29th day of Adar also. If something happens in Mavatal the 28th day as a Yom Tov, Esher Matisha Gufei Asr the Haval Yoma the Mekame Yoma the Mitukam Tzimida. Therefore, it's necessary to state from Rosh Chodesh Nisan to tell me the 28th is Asr because 28th is no longer applicable. So it's only Asr because it's the day before Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Itmar, he says the halacha follows Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says when it comes to those days where it says you can't fast and you can't eulogize, so both before and after the day. When it comes to fast, and when it comes to just the day you're not supposed to fast, so it's only the day before.
12:30 is going to be a shear.
12:30 is going to be a shear.
Okay.
All right. He doesn't realize that when he finished. I mean, it's already 8 minutes in. It's now 11:55, almost 12 o'clock. He's giving a share at 12:30. He really thinks I'm going to go to 38 minutes? Please, come on. I don't think I ever went to 38 minutes. I mean, I think the longest I ever did was 35. Happened once. After that, I think it was 31 or 32. People are still perplexed by my shiurim. They think I just go on and on and on. I don't. So the Gemara says, halacha for Rabbi Yossi, halacha follows Rabbi Yossi. When it's ushered to fast, the day before is ushered, the day after is mutter. Shmuel Amar halacha Rabbi Meir. Shmuel is halacha Rabbi Meir. Meir has two kulas. One, and when a day is ushered, even for hesped, it's only the day before, and when it's for a Taanit, neither before neither after. Shmuel halacha. Shmuel say this. Halacha follows Rabbi Meir. It says. Bahun, Misped Bahun, Loisanes Bahun, Megillas Taanit. Bahun is that day. So why does it repeat Bahun 2 times? It sounds like only that day, not the day before, not the day after. It's Asr beforehand, but afterwards is Mutter. So this is talking about even to fast. Right? Both for fasting, these are Asr for fasting, these are Asr for for hesped. So you see, even more makel. Shengli was even more makel than Reb Meir. He says even the day beforehand, it's mutter. It's only when it's hesped, and the day before it is asr. When it comes to tainus, even the day before it is mutter. Okay, when the Legatana Asangmar says, Amar Shmuel Lachon Shem Mikara Savar, originally he thought came when the Legatana the Mekel Garei Meir. He was looking for the most Mekel sheet. He thought there's no one's more Mekel Garei Meir. Amar Lachon Garei Meir came when the Shema Shem the Mekel Tvei. He holds even when it comes for I'm sorry. Rishon Gamliel says Lifnei and Lacharei Mutar. And this is Bahon Mohon Shtei Bamim. Tell me, Rishon Gamliel holds both before and after. Even when he's for a hesped, it's mutter before and after. So that's more Mekel Remeir. Remeir says that when it says a hesped, then it's also beforehand. So originally he thought there was no more Mekel Remeir. The Shama Rishon Gamliel, the Mekel Tvei Amar Halacha Rishon Gamliel. He said Halacha about Rishon Gamliel is mutter both before and after. Only that day is also. Amar Bali Amar Rakia. We have an additional teaching regarding this. He passed and Rabbi Yochanan passed like Rabbi Yossi, who is the most machmir. I'm going to about Rabbi Bali. He has the Bali asked for I'll explain to you. Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yossi, Adelo Hisana. When Rabbi Yochanan says Lacha follows Rabbi Yossi, that's only regarding when he says Latinus. The Rabbi Yossi says for Latinus, it's only also the day before. But he would hold like Reb Meir when it's a hesped. It's also the day before. So he holds the new sheet. Rabbi Yochanan holds Al Kamad Riyosher and Meir, and whether it says la hesped or the tainus, the day before is also the day afterwards is mutter. Mi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hakid. Rabbi Yochanan says, "Amar Rabbi Yochanan Lacha Stam Mishnah." Rabbi Yochanan says Lacha follows Stam Mishnah. It's an Avish Amru Makdim and Lo Ma'achrin. This is regarding the Megillah on Purim. Purim is one of those days mentioned in Megillah's tainus. Supposed to read on the 14th or 15th. Avish Amru Makdim and Lo Ma'achrin. Says in the beginning from Sakis Megillah, we'll get there in a couple weeks. You're allowed to read the Megillah earlier than the 14th or the 15th, up until the 11th day. Mutar and Behesped of Tainus. Those days, 11, 12, and 13, are Mutar, Behesped of Tainus. You're allowed, even though you're technically allowed to read the Megillah, you're still allowed to fast on them or eulogize on them. Amos, Ilema, what is it talking about this price? Ilema B'nei Chamesar, Karli Bar Beisar, talking about the people in a walled city. You read on the 15th, and they actually decided to read early on the 14th. The Mishari, is it possible to fast or eulogize? V'achsiv Megillas Tainus Yom Harbah Sarbo V'Yom HaChamish Sarbo Yom Puraya in the Megillas Tainus the days of Purim Delolim Misperhun Amar Rava and Nitzrach Ha'ela Yisrael Shalzeh B'Zeh Shalzeh B'Zeh. Rava explains the reason it says both days is to tell you even if you're a bar Yadalid, you're still usher the fasting eulogize on the 15th, and even if you're a bar Ted Vav, you're also tainus and eulogize on the 14th. So maybe it's talking about people in an unwalled city, you read on the 14th, and they're reading it earlier on the 13th. Yom Nikanor, it's the day of Nikanor, which is also we're going to see as a Yom Tov, a small Yom Tov. Maybe they're reading on the 12th day, Yom Turinus, it's another Yom Tov, Yom Turinus. I'll have the Kakarule V'Chadesar. It's talking about where they read it on the 11th. So this price says explicitly that your Mutter B'Hesped of Tainus, according to Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yochanan is passing Rabbi Yossi, this would be against the Stam Mishnah, because Rabbi Yossi holds at least the day before is Asar. So the Gemara answers, well, B'nei Arbasar V'Kakarule Betrays are really reading on the 12th day, which was the Yom Tov. The Kamar Yom Turainasu, Yom Trinus Gufe Batule Batlu. Hawil V'Nargu Boshmai V'Achaya Echav. It originally was a Yom Tov, it was written in Megillah Tainus, but they got rid of it. The Rabbanan decided to get rid of it as a Yom Tov because it was the day that Shemaiah and Achia, two brothers, were killed by the non-Jewish authorities. So therefore the Mavatal. If Rav Nachman goes to Tainisa B'Treisar, for example, Rav Nachman made a Tainus on the 12th of Adar. Amrule Rabbanan Yom Turainus. How can you make a fast day? It's Yom Turainus. Amrulu Yom Turainus Kuve B'Tulei Batlu. Havo V'Nergu Boshmaya V'Achia Echav. It was abolished. Typically the Havale Yom Shalifnei Nikanor. But Yom Nikanor, the 13th of Adar, was a Yom Tov. So the day before should also be Asr. So we see not like. Again, a question on Rabbi Yossi, because Rabbi Yossi says at least the day before should be Asar Marvai, and a question on Rabbi Yochanan who passes like Rabbi Yossi. Amar Vashi Hashta Iu Gufe Batlu Mishum Yom Nikunor Negom and Nigzor. If once they already abolished something, they abolished Yom Turainus, which is a 12th day, they're not going to aser it because it's the day before Nikanor. They abolish it Lagamre. My Nikanor, my Turainus, what happened during these days? It's Tanya Nikanor, Echad Ma'afarcha Yevonim Haya. Nikanor is one of the Greek governors. So the Chol Yom Yamayamani Fiado al Yehuda Yerushalayim, he would symbolically wave his hand on Yehuda and Yerushalayim. He was waiting for the chance to conquer it, and I'll trample it. He was one of the Greeks, and under the government Antiochus, the Seleucids. When the Chashmonaim, appropriate to read it today on Hanukkah, the Chashmonaim beat them, they were victorious. Katsu Bahonos Yadav, the Raglav, they cut off his thumbs and his big toes. Talum Bishar Yerushalayim. And they hung it in the gates of Yerushalayim. Apparently they cut off his head also. There's the mouth that spoke haughty. The Yerushalayim, Tasebehem, the Kama, and the Yadai, his hands and feet. He wanted to trample it also, his feet. On a Kama, revenge will be shown to everyone. My Turinus, that was the nace of Nicanor, which happened on Yud Gimel Adar. Turinus, Amru, Shabigish Turinus, Larus, Lulinus, Vipapas. What was the miracle there? He wanted to kill Lulinus and Papas. Apparently, Rashi explains the daughter of the emperor was killed, and they thought it was the Jews that did it, and he threatened to kill all the Jews. So Lulinus and Papas, unless someone came forward and admitted to the crime, even though they didn't do it, they came forth and admitted to the crime to save all of Klal Yisrael. Papas Acha Beludkia and Lud Amar Lahemi. Ma'amo Shel Chanani Mishav Azariah Atam. He said, if you're from the nation of Chanani Mishav Azariah, Yavo Elokechem Yatzal Eschem. He said to Papas and Linus, why doesn't your God come and save you? Miyadi Kader Shehitzel Chanani Mishav Azariah. They knew about that miracle. They were saved from the Kivshan Eshim, the fiery furnace of Nebuchadnezzar. Miyad Nebuchadnezzar from Nebuchadnezzar. Amrullah Chanani Mishav Azariah Sadikim Gvurna. He said they were complete Sadikim. Ruay Hayula Sos Lahem Nis. And it was fit for them that a miracle should happen. He was a proper king. And it was fitting for a nace to happen during his reign. But also Russia, but you, Tyrannus, Hedyohu, you're a simple man. You're not fit for a nace to happen on account of you. And we ourselves are not tzaddikim gemurim. We're chayav destruction to Hashem. If you don't kill us, harbe horgim yesh lamakom. Hashem will kill us anyway. Harbe dovin arios yesh lamakom. There's a lot of people that can kill us, or a lot of bears or lions that can kill us. Be'olam Moshe pogin banav horginos that can kill us. Lo masarnu hakadosh baruch hu biyadcha al she'asa lipora dameinu miyadcha. The reason Hashem gave us over to us that you're going to be killed by you is so that Hashem could take revenge against you and kill you. Aval Pika and Hargan. So he didn't listen to what they said. He killed them right away. Miyad Amru Lozazu Misham Hargan Miyad. He killed them immediately. Amru Lozazu Misham Ashabo Diulfli Eromi Apatsu as Mocho Begizrin. It was not very long after they sent a message from the Roman government that this Tyrannus should be killed, and they beat his head with clubs. And they killed him, and they made it into a Yom Tov. Then later on, they were Mavatla because Shemaiah and Echyav story is not exactly well known. They were killed on it, presumed by the Romans. I don't know. And goes down as Asir B'Tchila B'Chamisha and goes in Taanit B'Rosh Chadasha. So we said in the Mishnah that if he started to fast, if there goes there 3 or 3 and 7, the Tanesim, and they started to fast, so you don't stop even if one of the days falls out on Rosh Chodesh or Hanukkah. But kama heavy haskala, but you have to have started. So what's haskala? Racha amar shalosh. Racha says they already fasted 3 fasts, meaning probably among the 7. They decreed a 7-day fast, and they fasted 3 days. Rasi amar ba'achas. Even one fast considered haskala. Amar b'yu amarav zu divrei meir sham mishum mishum gamliel. V'cham omrim masana umashta. Now he said, once you do haskala, once you start, 3 fast days or 1 day, so then you continue fasting even if it falls on Rosh Chodesh or Hanukkah. But you have to be mashlim. So Rav Gamliel said, you don't have Misana, but you're not Mashlim, you don't finish that day. Argue on him and say that day, even though it's Rosh Chodesh or Chanukah, you would complete your fast. Halacha is you fast and you complete your fasts. Hajj Allah Seder Tanias Ketza. We have finished the 2nd parak in Tainus. There is, let's see how many prakim in Tainus. 4 prakim in Tainus. We're halfway through, even more the dapim. And have a good Hanukkah. See you tomorrow. Bye.